By the powers vested in me as Vice Chancellor and Principal, I hereby constitute this assembly as a legal congregation of the University of Pretoria. During this assembly, degrees and diplomas with all the associated rights and privileges will be conferred and awarded to the candidates whose names appear in the program. We request all of you to join us in silent prayer or meditation to give thanks for the achievements of our students. As Vice Chancellor and Principal of the University of Pretoria, I extend a hearty word of welcome to you at this virtual graduation ceremony. I would like to welcome our Honorary Doctorate Professor Charles Feldman, the Dean and the Deputy Dean of the Faculty, along with all persons to whom degrees and diplomas will be conferred and awarded to. We also welcome families, friends, and spouses to this virtual graduation ceremony. This is the third virtual graduation ceremony the university has held in the past year, after we were obliged to depart from the traditional graduation format as a result of COVID-19 pandemic, which, as you know, has made large physical gatherings impossible for the time being. Our first virtual graduation season commenced just 10 days after the declaration of the national state of disaster towards the end of March 2020. It was memorable not only for that sobering reason, but also for a more agreeable one. During those first virtual ceremonies, the University of Pretoria conferred 11,001 qualifications on graduates in absentia. This was a record number for the university and one of the largest graduating cohorts, if not the largest, in South Africa at the time. I'm delighted to share with you that the autumn 2021 graduation season is now breaking that record. In this graduation season, we'll be conferring a total of 11,424 qualifications, including 198 doctorates and 1,289 master's degrees. This is a great achievement, especially in these uncertain and unpredictable times. Such an achievement is simply magnificent. I mean this on two levels. One is the outstanding personal effort you put into persevering with your studies when normal study routines and methodologies had suddenly been upended, and I'll say more about this later. The other level concerns the collective contribution of this graduating cohort to the skills of our country and more broadly our continent. Compared to the rest of the world, South Africa and Africa as a whole have very low graduation rates per capita, a state of affairs that perpetually widens the skills gap. The fact that we at the University of Pretoria are now graduating such a large number of cohort of graduates is good news indeed for the development of our country and the continent. But this welcome injection of skills is not only about numbers. Just as important are the kinds of skills and the quality of skills that you, our graduates, will be bringing with you into whatever career or study pathway you choose to pursue from this point. For instance, the University of Pretoria students once again excelled in the ITC, the initial test of competence, which is the first professional exam for prospective chartered accountants. In November 2020, students from our Faculty of Economic and Management Sciences again achieved first position in South Africa. This feat followed on the first place we achieved in the January 2020 ITC, when an unprecedented 7 out of the top 10 students in the country were from this university. In addition, UP won the 2020 Chartered Institute of Management Accountants CIMA Prize Winner Excellence Award, as well as the Institute's Global Excellence Award at its first ever virtual award ceremony. These awards recognize university partners with top performing CIMA students in case study exams, as well as university partners that have achieved the highest pass rates for CIMA exams. What makes these accomplishments even more special is that our students excelled despite the disruption of having their ITC exam deferred from June 2020 to November 2020 owing to lockdown regulations. Well done to every one of you who was part of this incredible effort. Not content with notching up all the accomplishments I've just listed, we are also making history. One of our PhD graduates, Dr. Tumeka Mashova Raimudzisi, is the first Black female chartered accountant to receive a PhD in leadership. This is a noteworthy achievement, testament to your commitment and dedication. Congratulations. If time permitted, which it unfortunately does not, there will be many other examples of achievement under pressure that I could share with you as testimony to the resilience and endurance of the human spirit. In my book, every one of you has shown resilience and endurance during unprecedented turbulence and upheaval. The university is proud of you all. All your hard work, tenacity, and resilience has helped to get you to this point. Yes, the Institute certainly played its part. As the Vice Chancellor and Principal of the University of Pretoria, I know what efforts and energies were invested in keeping the academic program going and enabling our students to succeed during the most protracted campus closures in our history. But what stands out for me is not the effort UP made in rolling out laptops and remote learning technologies, so much as the skills you, our graduates, gained from the experience. For our graduates to make a difference in society, they need to be creative, flexible, resilient, entrepreneurial, and collaborative. I can state with confidence that this graduating cohort has these qualities in abundance. They will serve you and our country well. University too has learned a lot from this pandemic. As you know, our preferred mode of teaching and learning before this health crisis has been the hybrid approach, a delivery model that makes use of traditional classroom-based learning tools supplemented by online and technology-supported activities. On the strength of our experiences online during this pandemic, we are reimagining the modes of teaching and learning that we are adopting for the future. Teaching and learning are going to be interesting spaces for innovation, creativity, and experimentation. Above all, we aim to provide a rich interactive experience that is educative and not just instructional, and which results in well-educated, skilled, socially engaged, and sensitive graduates eager to transform our society, our continent, and the world. We also aim to enable students to become graduates who can engage in lifelong learning, where they unlearn and relearn. In this way, they can navigate the emerging world of work that is an outcome of multiple disruptions of the life and the world as we know it, including the disruptions caused by rapid technological change. In the near future, we'll be launching a Center for the Study of the Future of Work. Allow me to touch briefly on the disruptions you, our graduates, experienced during your studies in 2020. I know that all of you were affected by the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic while you were studying. However, what I and my colleagues at the university do not necessarily know is what trials and tribulations you, individually and personally, experienced while completing your qualification. We do not know what difficulties and distractions were going on around you while you were studying for that crucial test or writing or revising the next chapter of your thesis or dissertation, or what additional responsibilities you took on in your living space and with regard to your loved ones while soldiering through your year of completion. Were you perhaps one of the many South Africans separated from loved ones as a result of traveling restrictions and border closures? What personal sadnesses and sufferings and hardships did you endure as a result of COVID or otherwise in that most crucial time of your studies? Did you suffer loss of family and close ones, friends, fellow students, or colleagues? My colleagues and I cannot know what your lived experience was as you toiled to complete your degree, diploma, or certificate. What we do know without a shadow of doubt is that your success is hard-won and deeply deserved. Earning a qualification from the University of Pretoria is an achievement to cherish. Earning qualifications in the time of COVID-19 is in a class of its own. You, together with the 11,001 graduates of autumn 2020 and the 1,380 graduates of summer 2020 are unique. You have succeeded, and we celebrate your achievement today. On behalf of the broader community of the University of Pretoria, please accept my heartfelt congratulations. Your graduation ceremony is your moment of triumph to savor, celebrate, share with family and friends, and remember for the rest of your life. We hope to one day return to physical graduation ceremonies where graduates can walk across the stage in the presence of family and friends and take photographs. For now, virtual graduation ceremonies such as these play an indispensable role in your journey with the university. This is because a virtual graduation is a legally constituted assembly that enables you to formally graduate so that you can receive your certificate and use it to open whatever doors you have intended to unlock, whether in the form of further studies, of course at the University of Pretoria, or in your career or profession. May it lead you to more opportunities and serve you well. Turning now to the future. In the same way that you and your fellow graduates are on the verge of the next stage of fulfilling your dreams for your life, so is the University of Pretoria. As I briefly mentioned earlier, we've been using the challenges presented by the global health pandemic to begin rethinking, reimagining, and repositioning the university itself. The university can play an essential role in co-creating the country and continent we want post-COVID-19. Here at the University of Pretoria, we see an opportunity to be one of the agents and drivers of change in Africa and globally, finding and deploying innovative ways to address poverty, unemployment, inequality, and social injustice. UP, as you know, is a hub for new ideas. When it comes to COVID-19 research, we are involved at multiple levels. We are researching genome profiles to be able to identify who in the population is at higher risk of contracting fatal viruses and other diseases. We are also researching how people in society behave during a pandemic. Because if we don't understand this, we cannot manage the spread optimally. We participated in international COVID-19 clinical trials and produced sanitizers, face masks, and face shields. Our Faculty of Health Sciences quickly incorporated COVID-19 into the primary healthcare curriculum. This is how we will need to respond to pandemics in the future, with rapid responses focused on multi-sectoral interventions. For example, our university is the only representative from Africa in the new University Social Responsibility Network, an international group of 16 top universities. And last year, the Times Higher Education's Impact Rankings rated UP among the top 100 universities in the world for its social and economic impact in 3 categories based on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, otherwise known as the SDGs. These are quality education, industry, innovation and infrastructure, and peace, justice, and strong institutions. We envisage a better, more sustainable world characterized by prosperity, genuine democracy, peace, equity and equality, social justice, and ethical use of all resources. And we are convinced we can co-create this just new world through high-quality hybrid teaching, together with transdisciplinary research and social engagement that is impactful. And of course, this co-creation must harness the collective expertise, energies, and goodwill of our family of alumni, among whom you, the season's graduates, can now be counted. As the new alumni of the University of Pretoria, remember the values from UP to always strive for excellence, persevere, respect everyone, be creative, innovate, embrace diversity, grow, be a lifelong learner, be kind, and make a difference every day. This is what makes the UP way of life. I appeal to you to be part of our quest to rethink, reimagine, and reposition the University of Pretoria, and in so doing, contribute to the co-creation of the Africa we want. Please take the next step by downloading the UP Connect Graduate app. keeping you connected to your alma mater, and offering access to the many opportunities available to our alumni wherever in the world you are. Remember to always keep in contact with the alumni office at UP and let us know when your contact details change. No matter where you end up in the world, remember that you are part of the UP family, whose overarching strength is its diversity in terms of staff, students, the programs offered, and areas of research that define its excellence. We're an institution on its way to becoming a beacon for demographic diversity and inclusivity, a future-oriented and focused university that is a driver of social change. Congratulations on your graduation and enjoy the celebrations with your loved ones. Take pride in the sense of achievement that comes with knowing that you have excelled against all odds. I now request the Dean to introduce to me the candidate for the Honorary Doctorate.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor and Principal, I have the honor to introduce to you Professor Charles Feldman for the conferment of the degree Doctor of Medicine, honoris causa. Professor Feldman is recognized as a world authority on pneumococcal pulmonary infections. He has advised several international health organizations that direct policy formulation and mitigate the risk to human health. His commitment to research and clinical management has saved human lives in South Africa and globally. Professor Feldman has been an A2 NIF rated scientist since 2010, and this distinction was renewed in 2021. In recognition of his research excellence, he received the Platinum Scientific Achievement Award of the Medical Research Council of South Africa in 2018. Professor Feldman was appointed as a member of the Medical Scientific Advisory Committee of the Global Pneumonia Prevention Coalition in 2016. Professor Feldman has written more than 50 books and book chapters and has had over 300 ISI publications, many in high-impact factor journals such as the Lancet Infectious Disease and NEJM. His H-index is 41 on ISI Web of Knowledge and 59 on Google Scholar. His H-index is one of the highest for a South African scientist. Professor Feldman has been a member of the American Thoracic Society since 1995, active in the microbiology, tuberculosis, and pulmonary infection assembly. He has been president of the South African Thoracic Society on 2 occasions and was awarded an honorary life membership. He has been awarded the prestigious and rare distinctions of the Fellowship of the American Thoracic Society and Fellowship of the Faculty of the European Respiratory Society in 2015. Only 100 chest physicians and scientists are permitted membership of the latter faculty at any one time. He is only one of 2 South Africans in the Faculty of Health Sciences. Mr. Vice-Chancellor and Principal, I request you to confer the Honorary Doctorate on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Medicine honoris causa with all the rights and privileges on Professor Charles Feldman. I have the honor of requesting our Honorary Doctorate to deliver their address.
Chancellor Professor Nkulu, Vice-Chancellor and Principal Professor Coupe, Dean of Health Sciences Professor Diaga, Deputy Deans and all academic staff, parents, spouses and guests, and most importantly, you, the graduate, whose hard work we are celebrating today. I would like to thank you for inviting me onto your campus today, although virtually, to give these opening remarks for your graduation ceremony. It is indeed an honor and a privilege for me to be addressing you all today, especially those of you who are graduating in your respective fields of study, despite the hurdles you and we have all faced and had to face with the COVID-19 pandemic. It's difficult enough to attain a university qualification with all these potential stumbling blocks, which you have all overcome very successfully. I'm also thrilled to be accepting the degree of Doctor of Medicine, honoris causa, from the University of Pretoria, and this comes with an important lesson which I'd like to share with you as you advance in your career. The letter of my award from the university indicated that this award was in recognition, and I quote, of my significant contributions to research and clinical management of pneumococcal lung infections. I was firstly thrilled to know that the clinical and research interest that has dominated my adult academic career, namely pneumococcal infections, was being recognized by the university. But perhaps even more rewarding was the fact that this award was from an institution with which I have had close links through substantial collaborative interactions with Professor Ronald Anderson and his department and staff over many years. What started out as a project suggested by Professor Anderson to the research unit at the Royal Brompton Hospital in London, where I was completing a postdoctoral scholarship supported by the Medical Research Council of South Africa, turned into more than 30 years of research collaboration. I would like to believe that this was extremely beneficial to both our units and our universities. While the importance of wide collaboration, not only within one's own department or discipline or even institution, but much wider, was something I learned was important for success in the United Kingdom, this was not something that was commonly undertaken in South Africa in those earlier years. How things have changed in the modern era. What this collaboration uniquely offered, I believe, was the expertise of Professor Anderson in his unit, scientists with knowledge in infection, inflammation and immunity, juxtaposed against myself, a clinician with clinical experience in the field of pneumococcal infections, who wished to understand the disease more fully in order to improve disease management and outcomes, thus promoting complementary perspectives. I would specifically like to acknowledge the important role Professor Anderson and his team played in my development from clinician to clinician scientists. For those of you graduating today, it's important to know that collaboration is something that is now recognized as being essential for cutting-edge research, and that interdisciplinary and multi-contextual collaboration has significantly accelerated the pace of research with the development of innovative and groundbreaking strategies that are required to deal with complex problems, many of which we are faced in the modern world. And I'm sure I don't need to elaborate further on that particular issue. However, research is not the only area where collaboration is important. Collaboration has many benefits to offer, whether your career will focus on research or teaching, clinical practice, consultation, or a combination of these, as well as in various other aspects of your daily life, and should be openly embraced. So in conclusion, in addition to congratulating all of you who are graduating today, since this is your special night, I wish to thank the University of Pretoria not only for encouraging and supporting my collaboration with Professor Anderson and his department over all these years, but also in awarding me this great honor, something that I will always cherish. I am humbled to accept this award. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Charles Feldman, for your address. I hereby confer and award all degrees and diplomas in absentia with the associated rights and privileges to all candidates whose names appear in the graduation program.
School of Medicine. Bachelor of Science Honours, Biokinetics, Arangsha Beluigi, Lene Collitz with distinction, Bianca Kutsia with distinction, Khotsatso Kekai, Nicole Kirsten with distinction, Gratitude Maine, Robin Morgan with distinction. Bekisizwe Motau with distinction. Ilse Niebuhr with distinction. Nicole Shuttleworth. Takara Stradom with distinction. Sarel van der Merwe. Melissa Wadeley with distinction. Matthew Watts with distinction. Gemma Whitehead with distinction. Chemical Pathology. Natalie De Silva. Tanya Maposo. Tabo Masocha. Nicholas Oko. Esther Zou. Hematology. Crystal Rue. Heather Sechwe. Human Cell Biology. Rumbitsai Chirombo with distinction. Tumelo Moshue. Leanne van Stryp. Human Physiology. Aminat Adigun. Muhammad Basa with distinction. Nsuku Bilankulu. Tanyaratswa Chamboko. Jemima Kutsia. Ruzan Cronje with distinction. Duduzile Dlamini. Celine Gous with distinction. Saltiel Hamese with distinction. Georgina Johnson with distinction. Emma Last with distinction. Toko Malanda. Khomolemo Matsile. Lisa Marie Null with distinction. Aiden Null with distinction. Mandisa Ntlabati. Jürgen Olivier. Lilu Rademeyer. Muhammad Rasool with distinction. Annabel Ruet with distinction. Zenobia Seifert with distinction. Nicolene Smith. Michelle Stephen with distinction. Hermina Swanepoel. Didintle Klale. Byron Toogood with distinction. Yanni van Rooyen. Macroanatomy. Audrey Null with distinction. Sinmilolua Oduoye. Medical Criminalistics. Isabella Da Silva. Adriaan Geldenhuys. Lisha Lamprecht. Oratilwe Molele. Medical Microbiology. Tivasha Govender with distinction. Matumelo Leshaba. Felicity Makomo. Fabian Marsden. Malebojo Monchioa. Maisha Sekwakwa. Medical Virology. Michelle Adams. Tauya Muvengi. Pierre Palm. Neuroanatomy. Janice Kutsia. Flora Masocha. Gerelise van Skalkwyk. Pharmacology. Shirley Baloyi. Maralise Boertes with distinction. Jessica Broderick with distinction. Enrico Collins. Raquel De Silva with distinction. Jamie De Cavallo with distinction. Cara Demura with distinction. Adam Forbes. Marine Harmse with distinction. Princess Ijeoma, Rulof Jordan, Huzaifa Khan, Unareen Madaba, Ramsha Majid, Alex Mare with distinction, Calvin McMenamin, Amika Meyer, Libalane Nechisaulu, Nomvula Gwenya, Enes Nobrega. Physical Anthropology, Nomsado Botma, Angelique Carmichael with distinction, Domonica Jean Dos Reis, Miksha Ariparsad. Sports Science, Kaylee Birch, Tamlin Bunting with distinction, Bryant Dakota, Lisa Marie Duplessis, Michaela Groenewald, Michaela Heyman, Louise Impe, Anshin Janse van Vuren, Bali Padi, Limbikani Sayani, Rihanna Vasanar with distinction. Bachelor of Clinical Medical Practice, Kensani Baloi, Vusumuzi Binda, Shani Bueta, Sipesitle Henzane, Asanda Hlatswayo, Precious Hlongwane, Priscilla Gianni, Sinokwetaba Kulu, Tabiso Lebutse, Maite Ledwaba, Relebohile Mabina, Siabonga Mabuza, Nokwazi Machachula, Ntlantla Mashlangu, Fezeka Makanya, Nompumelelo Makanya, Baba Mashabela, Patricia Masinga, Zubenati Matika, Masuru Mawela, Tina Mchunu, Londeka Mjoli, Neo Mdawe, Pulane Moloi, Puti Moloto, Noko Morudu, Kabelo Mpai, Pumzile Mtombeni, Raisibe Nchabeleng, Nyiko Ndove, Oritonda Ndwamato, Mtombizodwa Gubelanga, Mtokozisi Mtlapo, Pretty Shungube, Shannon Ray Fansel, Zanele Zungu. Bachelor of Sports Science, Pedro Alves, Susanna Amar with distinction, Dylan Andrews, Anami Aylward with distinction, Casey Bertram, Jade Clark, Dylan Cotter, Arnel De Vos, Pieter De Waal, Pieter De Wet, Hannah Dwyer, Robin Ferenczi with distinction, Renee Ferguson with distinction, Charlene Fritz, Gilliana Gomez, Rhea Groves, Stefan Groenewald, Aneshka Habach with distinction, Bradley Hornsey. Aaron Illick with distinction. Ji Jiang. Christian Jordan. Devin Kerr. Larissa Kitsov. Robin Knowles with distinction. Brad Moolman. Kelly Morgan with distinction. Christian Mayberg with distinction. Callan Niemand. Fatima Nur Mohamed with distinction. Firdaus Paruk. Danae Pearson. Stephanie Poe. Tanya Postma. Taylor Rindle with distinction. Sabiha Sidat with distinction. Carmen Smith. Ashley Thomas. Shantae van der Merwe. Marianke van der Merwe. Lara van Heerden. Sophia Venter. Sibusiso Vika. Carmen Willemse. Bianca Wrighton. School of Health Systems and Public Health. Doctor of Philosophy. Public Health. Ntsieni Ramalwa. Thesis. The potential risks of long-term exposure to low concentrations of antiretrovirals in treated and untreated water sources in Gauteng, South Africa. Supervisor, Professor M.B. Taylor. Co-supervisor, Professor C. de Jager. Master of Science, Clinical Epidemiology. Manqoba Mtembu. Sophia Babasei Babatunde. Ronald Chinobiringa. Ndimihulu Dowelani. Kabuya Mwamba. Environmental Health. Maria Paul with distinction. Epidemiology. Nomasondo Maroja. Catherine Naik with distinction. Natalie Serafin. Konsui Chabalala with distinction. Master of Public Health. Jacob Adewole. Temitope Bello. Kaylee Butcher with distinction. Dlelantle Dlodlo. France Dimo. Ntokozisi Dube. Kulani Gijima. Chidozie Iwu. Matswele Khatla. Moraka Maake. Masingita Makamu. Mohora Malebacha. Tembesile Maluleke. Lianza Mamba. Reachile Maribeng. Lebohang Bengo. Boinilo Mojapeisi. Mahlompo Moleko with distinction. Daphne Munyaratsi. David Nkwana. Keletso Ntene Sialiete. Delphi Nukeri. Matome Rapatsa. Safia Sidat. Paa Sefa Frimpong. Tobile Tibane, Motwemang Tlotleng, Bachelor of Science Honours, Environmental Health, Maluta Jauke, Occupational Hygiene, Anastasia Chuene, Sean Duplessis, Angerie Fouché with distinction, Zinardi Fouché with distinction, Bianca Grobler, Renate Lemke with distinction, Dineo Mabula, Lesedi Milanzi, Clou Mojoroja, Clara Mohotlo, Kangwelo Mudau, Takani Mukali, Tandiwe Ntlabati, Basetsana Rampa, Shalati Shibambu, Megan Smith, Mokwabane Telingwane, Postgraduate Diploma, Occupational Medicine and Health, Adriaan Appelgren Siebert with distinction, John Bodenhorst, Salia Kachalia, Ntabiseng Checho, Marty Conradi with distinction, John Katende with distinction, Manyane Mapakisa, Farai Masukume, Mamatime Mojalefa, Mokhanedi Morwe, Reginald Mpolokeng, Noko Ramabu, Lufuno Rambuani, Ntebo Ramochabi, Sandiso Sedibe, Olusola Sogbesan, Komotso Taukobong, Carmen White, Kelly Wilson with distinction, Public Health, Takudzwa Madina, Tropical Medicine and Health, Akile Mubiai with distinction. In Occupational Health, Zandre Itzeroth, School of Dentistry, Master of Science, Dentistry, Candida Grier, Natasa Preden Jurich, Christian Victor with distinction, Master of Dental Surgery, Orthodontics, Ntwampe Choma, Rashid Eso, Prosthodontics, Portia Netononda, Postgraduate Diploma, Dentistry, Endodontics, Caitlin Cameron with distinction, Yuri Kok, Rutendo Kudenga, Changyang Lee, Duduzile Ntambo, Miriat Namutebi, Grijandri Piens with distinction, Ratsatsi Tsadi, Carmen Tolle, Rian Wolfart with distinction, Dentistry, Oral Surgery, Kareshma Chetty, Wenzile Mjoli, Sifiso Nkosi, Louis Trichard. Dentistry, Pedodontics, Suzette Atolia, Kefilwe Chideka, Karmi Prinsloo with distinction, Marilyn Radley. Dentistry, Prosthodontics, Mohamed Amod, George Babiolakis, Hermanus Becker, Ntlakane Kosana, Bobby Korean, Tabeho Meti, Shamima Mohammed, Daniel Rousseau with distinction, Lotibe Shabalala, Nicolas van Rede van Oudtshoorn, Seybrand van Rede van Oudtshoorn with distinction. Dentistry, Radiography, Lene Merbold with distinction. Bachelor of Dental Surgery, Alexander Ablinger, Maigan Archer, Nicole Bailey, Michael Beckenstrater with distinction, Nicole Bentley, Christian Bester, Monique Bester, Michelle Kutsia, Lianka Kutzer with distinction, Danae Cronje with distinction, Dominique de Almeida, Offense Diale, Ilandi Duplessis, Shazia Ibrahim, Tamsin Gravenstein, Eric Hale with distinction, Zawa Yagot, Busisiwe Kambula, Peter Korki, Oluwatoyinka Laosebikan, François Leroux, Chilobo Lubuya, Ingrid Littich, Mokokobale Makhoba, Donald Malefashlo, Sonwabile Malongwe, Tlou Mankha, Safia Mir, Pilani Mhlongo, Justine Mudley with distinction, Simpiwe Mtetwa, Kesh Naik, Shiv Naik, Vilmarie Petrus, Emily Pridgeon, Nonelwa Ngana, Tertia Radley with distinction, Matau Ramolefi, Yusuf Rehman, Johan Struer with distinction, Tilana Swartz, Maureen van Eyck, Van der Merwe van die Kerk, Gabriel Wienberg, Chwenchi Yang, Nianshen Yao, Pumeza Zulu, Bachelor of Oral Hygiene, Lesedi Bahula, Deirdre Erasmus, Ntokozo Manzini, Gafi Maseko, Nomatsamsanqa Vala, Nonsikelelo Gema, Zinat Sali, Dimpo Sejopolo, Samukelisiwe Senguayo, Ompile Sequente, Marechal Volkskenk with distinction. Achievement Awards: School of Medicine Prize, Relebohile Mabina. Family Medicine Facilitator Prize. This prize is shared. Shani Buerta, Baba Mashabela. Mpumalanga Council of Family Physicians Prize, Mtrina Mchunu. School of Dentistry, Gold Medal of the South African Dental Association, Eric Hale. Bronze Medals of the South African Dental Association, for the best performance in community as patient, Busisiwe Kambula. For the best performance in comprehensive patient management, Lianka Kutzer. For the best performance in maxillofacial pathology, Eric Hale. For the best performance in odontology, Eric Hale. For the best performance in orofacial surgery, Johan Struer. For the best performance in orthodontics, Dene Cronje. For the best performance in periodontology, Justine Mudley. For the best performance in prosthodontics, Johan Struer. Best Oral Presentation in Oral Hygiene Prize. First prize, Dimpo Sejopolo. Second prize, Ompile Sequente. Third prize, Marechal Volkskenk. For the best performance in final year prize, Eric Hale. Diagnostic Imaging Prize, Chuenqi Yang. Endodontics Prize, Johan Struer. Clinical Fixed Prosthodontics Prize, Wilmarie Petrus. Clinical Oral Hygiene Prize, Marechal Volkskenk. Clinical Orofacial Surgery Prize, Johan Struer. Clinical Orthodontics Prize, Lianka Kutzer. Clinical Periodontics Prize, Van der Merwe van die Kerk. Clinical Removable Prosthodontics Prize, Michel Kutsia. Comprehensive Patient Management Prize, Ompile Sequente. Dental Materials Prize, Eric Hale. Maxillofacial Pathology Prize, Eric Hale. Oral Hygienists Association of South Africa Prize, Marechal Volkskenk. Oral Hygiene Prize, Marechal Volkskenk. Orofacial Surgery Theory Prize, Lianka Kutzer. Orthodontics Prize, Dimpo Sejopolo. Periodontics Prize, Monique Bester. Periodontics Prize, Dimpo Sejopolo. Preventative Dentistry Prize, Marechal Volkskenk. Radiography Practical Prize, Marechal Volkskenk. Radiography Theory Prize, Marechal Volkskenk. Restorative Dentistry Prize, Lianka Kutzer. South African Dental Association Leadership Prize, Alexander Ablinger.
Let us give our graduates a big hand for their hard work and perseverance. I would like to thank the families, friends, and spouses for supporting our graduates during their studies. We have now come to the end of the proceedings. Please join us in singing the national anthem. By the powers vested in me, I hereby dissolve this assembly of the University of Pretoria.
Gaudiamus igitur juvenestum sumus. Gaudiamus igitur juvenestum sumus. Post jucundam juventutem, post molestam senectum.